What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV. You already know what it is, man. Hit that like button. You already know NFL politics. We got a big time game this Sunday, y'all. Both quarterbacks and respective teams could use a win. Want to know who could use a win more than the other, but both of them could use one. It's no secret, Flight Sports TV. I am a Browns fan. We will get all into it, but before we do that, like I said, I need you to hit that like button and most definitely hit that subscribe button. It's Flight Sports TV. Uh, we got a preview for a game today. We got Tricky in the building. What's good, Tricky?
Salute, salute. Yeah, hit that like button, subscribe. Uh, so who needs to win? I want to get that answer
That's a
out of
great
you.
one. Well, I'm gonna roll with, of course, Goff. I mean, they winless, so they could, he could use one for his son.
That's where you're wrong,
But
bud.
Baker, I'm rolling with Baker.
The Browns need to win. I mean, they're 5-5 right now.
Yeah, to
So
make any type of noise in that division, and like I said, make the playoffs, they need to win.
right, Lions are out. Lions are out. Yes, we are 0-8. We have a tie game, which was a hard fought game. Salute. We ain't gonna be the 0-16 Lions. We'll be the 0-16 and 1 Lions this year. If you look at it though, you got Jared Goff. He's thrown for 2,100 yards, 8 touchdowns, 6 picks. But then you go to Baker Mayfield in the 5-5 Browns. They need more. He's thrown for about 200 less yards. He has 10 touchdowns and I believe 6 picks. Not much better.
Right.
Nick Chubb is running the ball, and from what I last saw, he's going to be back against the Lions this week. His COVID protocol is ending, and he might be back to return and play this game. And that's not good news for Detroit fans.
Right. Sure ain't, man. There's definitely going to be some exciting football. I'm looking forward to these matchups. What about the Odell factor? There's no Odell. Odell didn't have a monster night because if he did, Lord have mercy. But nonetheless, Baker has to answer the bell. I'm pretty sure he was kind of chuckling that game when he was with when Odell's first game with the Rams. I'm pretty sure Baker thought it was pretty funny, because there was some mix-ups and some miscommunications that I feel like they'll eventually figure it out up there in LA. But Baker, nonetheless, you have to answer the call this Sunday. You cannot lose to Jared Goff. I mean, oh my goodness, tricky to talk to me.
So here's my opinion with Baker Mayfield. This is not the guy you want to give a max contract to. There are so many people on this team that are worthy of the money. I'm not saying he's not worthy of the money, but not a max amount of money. If you look at his receiving corps right now, and I'm going to put this in perspective for Browns fans, Odell Beckham had 17 receptions before the trade, or before he was waived. 34 targets. That is tied for second with Jarvis Landry. And you got Austin Hooper, the tight end, with 35 targets. Odell has 0 touchdowns. But the problem is, and it's a good problem to have, Baker is spreading the ball everywhere. If you look at Baker's stats and his receiving core, he's spreading it everywhere. But you got to go with the guy that he had. And it's sad that Odell walked away, especially when they're 5-5. And you got to look at it. The Browns just got their butt last week. Bad. I believe it was 45-7. Yeah, 45-7 against the Pats last week. That's not a game you want to have. And the Browns have lost 4 out of their last 6 games. So you're looking at a team here that's relying on a quarterback that can't find a way to throw it deep And without the running backs, Nick Chubb being healthy and those boys, it's not a winning football team. But thank God for the Browns, Chubb is expected to come back. So these Browns are going to be beating these Lions. And my score would be 26-6. I just think that defense is good in Cleveland yet. So
I'm what you said. What's the score? Repeat that for the people one more time.
26-6 Cleveland.
20, yeah.
It's at home, so it's at home. And
it's in Cleveland.
Yes, I don't see more than a couple field goals for Detroit, especially after another heartbreaking, like not getting over the hump. I know it was a tie, but I called it a loss. They had that loss. The Lions had that loss against the Ravens with the NFL record-setting field goal. Heartbreaking loss. Of Vikings was a loss, I believe.
His impact could be.
Well, I think he's going to be locked up by the Detroit Lions safety, the rookie actually, or second year. I think Uruwari is going to lock him up. I think Baker's going to struggle. I think not having Odell on the field is going to hurt him again. And if you looked at last week, like the way they played the game, he had no decoy. It was almost like he had no decoy and he had no run game. It was almost like they figured it out. And they got blown out bad. And I mean, I'm not saying the Pats are a bad team, but they got the beatdown put on them that game. 45-7. You know, I know they're on the road, but Mac Jones showed out, and Baker Mayfield, he didn't show out. I don't know if it was a distraction what went on with the Odell being waived, but I do see the Browns being 6-5 though. Like I said, I see them winning 26-6. It's the Lions after all. However, like I said, that Lions team, Dan Campbell, I mean, they got some fire behind them. I could be wrong, but I just don't see the Browns after that beatdown coming up, not, giving all their best effort at this point. They have to. If they lose this game to Detroit, that's the season.
Right, you're absolutely right about that. You said that's the season. What, for the Browns?
Yeah, that will be the season. If they go 5-6 and lose to the winless team, Lions, you don't want to go 5-6. I know the AFC is weaker than the NFC, but you're also looking at the Cleveland Browns. I just give you an example. They play Baltimore next. That could be 5-7. And then they play them again after their bye. That could be 5-8. Raiders, they've been struggling, but they're really not no slouch. Then they got Green Bay, Pittsburgh, and then Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. I mean, that closes out the year. That is a rough schedule for them. They got to get this one.
They got to, man.
If they win, they'll be 6-5. If they get split with Baltimore, say they're 7-6. They beat Las Vegas, they're 8-6. You got Green Bay, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati.
Do you believe in Baker Mayfield?
I believe in him as much as I believed in Joe Flacco, Trent Dilfer for the Bucs in 2002. He's the type of quarterback that can take you there if he doesn't make mistakes. But you got to have a run game and you got to have a defense. He is not the type of quarterback like, say, for example, he is not a Joe Montana. He is not a Tom Brady. He is not a Brett Favre. He is not an Aaron Rodgers. He is definitely not the type of quarterback that can win games without defense and a running game. He needs both at this point. But he's young. But I don't believe in him this year. No, I do not.
You don't? No.
I
Well,
do
hopefully
not.
you change your mind. It'll be all right. But nonetheless, we got your take for the wins. It should be definitely an exciting matchup. What's the going on with the Lions? How can they turn this around? There's a lot of work that has to be done.
Uh, I think they set a precedent when they got Dan Campbell as their head coach. They gave him 6 years right off the bat. This is going to be a process with Detroit. If they can play, it's a lot of things that Cleveland does. They can play hard-nosed defense. They can run the ball. You don't worry so much on the quarterback. You take the pressure off the quarterback. But they ain't gonna win with Jared Goff. So I'm looking at the Lions. Potentially looking into the draft this year, or the next year, getting somebody to come behind Goff before we get rid of him, and developing someone. I would like to see the Lions. They've always had pocket passers. I would like to see them get someone like a Kyler Murray. And I'm even going to go as far as the Bears with their new quarterback. I love him.
Right.
He's from Ohio State. I hate him. He's from Ohio State. I'm a Michigan Wolverine fan, but I think they need more of a run type Deshaun Watson
Right.
type guy. Hey, I do want to say one more thing though. Don't sleep on these Browns. Don't sleep on them. Like I said, if they can squeak out a couple wins, and Baltimore hasn't been playing great either, they'll be all right.
We got somebody in the chat, Tricky, before we get out of here. It says Baker is done.
Who's saying that?
Dex.
He's got a point. He's got a point, and I agree to that point. Like I said, though, give it this year. If he doesn't do it this year, especially with OBJ being gone, Baker will be done. I mean,
they're going to draft another quarterback.
No, I don't know if they'll go that far, but I think he'll end up getting traded. They'll end up getting some free agent because if he doesn't perform this year, honestly, Cleveland's been losing for so many years. So many years. They're like Detroit. So many years. And then Baker comes, they win, they make it to the playoffs, and then this happens. A lot of people don't see the potential in them, and there's very few that do. So I would agree with Dax to that point. Like, if it doesn't get done this year where he can at least bring him to the playoffs and win a playoff game again, he's done. He's done. I mean, you ain't going to give the guy max contract if he can't take you, say to the AFC semifinals at least, let alone the AFC championship.
Right. Dex says Baker to Miami. I don't know. What's that for?
That might be a good fit because Tua there being hurt and the way he's been playing isn't a good fit for him either. But either way, I would not, if I were the Cleveland Browns, I would not spend all my money on Baker. I mean, I would basically, I would try to trade. And, Aaron Rodgers saying he wants out. Can you imagine Aaron Rodgers next year in Cleveland? Can you imagine that? That'd be scary. That's my opinion. It'll only be for a couple of years, but hey, if you get a ring, it's worth it.
You're right about that.
And that's my take on that. Aaron ain't staying in Green Bay. Trust me. We watched it before the season started. That's the reason he made this deal with Green Bay. He's ready to go. He's ready to walk. So you send, say, Baker over to Green Bay, take in Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers will get the max, of course, for a couple of years. With the talent they got now, then watch out. But My problem with it all was OBJ was supposed to go to Green Bay, in my opinion. So
I know what happened with that.
with the Browns letting him walk, that would have been nice to see Aaron come and OBJ stay. That would have been deadly. But either way, Browns are on the right track. I just don't think Baker Mayfield is the guy either. So I have to agree with Dex on that point.
Yeah, I agree. That's crazy. I hope Baker figures it out because I really like Baker Mayfield. Hopefully, he figures it out. But nonetheless, we're about to get up out of here. We're going to pick up on this. If you're a Browns fan, you came to the right place. If you are a Lions fan, if you are all around NFL fan, you done stumbled to the right place. It's Flight Sports TV. Support the channel. We're about to get up out of here. Tricky, any shout outs?
Yeah, I give a shout out to Dex. Thank you for coming on. That's a great question and a great point about Baker. Salute to you, Flight. And yeah, chat, hit those likes, subscribe, hit that reminder bell. And put it in the chat if you got any suggestions, any games you'd like to hear about. Let us know about it so we can give you the content that you want.
Right. That's what we're trying to do. It's Flight Sports. We will be back, y'all. Appreciate y'all. More NFL talk to come. It's Flight Sports, man. Keep supporting the channel. The channel gonna support back. And I'm telling you, in about another hour, but yeah, we'll get to that in a second. It's Flight Sports.